Hey, how's it going everyone? Today I wanted to talk to you about my run to legend, my path to rank 24, which happened a couple of weeks ago. I came across the team of Bastiodon, Medicham and Cresselia while duoing with PvPoke or Hakuna Matata, Kakuna Matata, Jesus. And yeah, we were doing and trying out some of the top meta teams, the most successful teams on PvPoke, and one of them, and the one that I liked the most and had the most success with, was Bastiodon, Medicham and Cresselia. As you know, Bastiodon's a complete monster, a complete wall, pretty much only loses to Stunfisk, Waters and Fighters, and it pretty much walls everything else, so it's a very solid lead. And Medicham and Cresselia cover those weaknesses pretty nicely. Cresselia with the Grass Knot covers the water types, and Medicham covers the beats the other fighters, and with Psychic, shields and energy can potentially kill out some of the water types like Azu as well. I had a lot of success with it. It's a very solid ABB line. The Cresselia essentially baits out any ghost types they may have, like Sableye or Marowak, which would have gotten in the way of the Medicham so that Medicham can sweep. I did run Power Up Punch and Psychic so that I could, farm up, and then if there is a neutral matchup, those boosted Psychics can do a lot of damage. So anyway, I'll showcase my games and commentate on my decision making for those games. So hope you enjoy. So I think this is the third game of the set. The second game we just saw there while I was talking, and the first game I did earlier on in the day. So we only have one last game. Amazing lead here. Generally with Bastiodon against Altaria, you don't have to shield at all. You can just smack down all the way up. You'll have 100 energy. You'll lose 3 smackdowns worth of energy, but it's better off having that energy for the next Pokemon. And he didn't switch out, which makes me think he's running some sort of ABA line. And by ABA, I mean he's running, if he loses the lead, he just lets it go. And then he has a Pokemon that has a similar job, like the Skarmory, as we saw, that can be safe in the background, assuming I don't switch out. And seeing as I, predicted that, I switch out to my Bastiodon as soon as I see the Toxicroak, and try to whittle the Skarmory after he switched out, knowing that my Power Up Punch XL Medicham can take care of the Toxicroak and the Skarmory in the back. So I bait an Ice Punch here, which he shields, which is nice. And at this point, I'm like, you know what? Let's just keep busting our power attack a bit higher. Just shield everything. I should have shielded that Sludge Bomb earlier on, but I thought he would bait at the start. And I knew he had energy, so as soon as the switch timer came out, I pressed it at the same time as him, caught the move. I barely managed to farm this down and throw the Flamethrower for the win. So yeah, you really need to predict these lines. Why aren't they switching out when they're losing? It's because they have something else in the back that's similar. Another amazing lead here. Unfortunately, we cannot switch out because this Sableye completely destroys our backline, and our Bastiodon is our best answer for it. And probably what we'll do, I think what I had in my mind, you know what, I can just use the Cresselia to outbulk the Ninetales and I'll win that. So I'm pretty sure Bastiodon wins this in I think all shield scenarios. That the Sableye does do a lot of damage, as you can see, but we do have to throw our energy here and not get greedy, so that we can take switch. He comes back in with a Jellicent. Now this is a huge problem for my team. I think for some reason in my head, like I said earlier, I'm just gonna use my Cresselia for the Ninetales. So that's why I switched out my Medicham for it, which was really dumb now that I look back. I think I just had that in my head, like planned, Cresselia for a Alolan Ninetales, Cresselia for a Alolan Ninetales. But this isn't so bad because I can hit Grass Knots against it, against the Jellicent. But Jellicent is a really big core breaker against this team, especially with Bubble. It can really do damage to this entire team. Forced to shield there just so that I can, you know, farm up some extra energy. But unfortunately he gets that extra hex through, and I really needed another move here. If I shielded, I think if I came in, used the Medicham on the Ninetales, it wouldn't have been so bad. It takes neutral damage from the counters. I think it would have been much better, and having the crest against the Jellicent. But GG's regardless. So our next game, we are going to have a Mew. Now, normally when I see a Mew, I'm always thinking, you know what, it's probably the Asian Milkman team. So I'm assuming there's going to be a Skarmory and Scrafty in the back. But, you know, these are just our first assumptions. So I'm like, okay, I took a shield here. Medicham with Power Up Punch with shield advantage can probably sweep that back line, assuming it is that. So I'll just let this go, and I decide to throw Grass Knot immediately because I don't want to take a wild charge or any more damage. I'll take my shield advantage on the Medicham, and now as soon as I see the Skarmory, my predictions are have been like correct. I'm like, okay, there's probably definitely a Scrafty in the back, so we're gonna see this awful boring matchup. The Skarmory does win this, but because my Cresselia's good IVs, it does manage to bulk it quite well and deal some damage, like in that previous game you saw. And now that the Medicham has 2 shields, it can just start ramping up using Power Up Punch and using the shields that we save, and just start going to town on his team. And as we predicted, it was a Scrafty. Now I decide to shield this next move, even though it's a pop, because I felt, you know, after my double buff, I'm not gonna have to shield anything else, so I might as well shield something. And especially with a third Power Up Punch, he's not going to get to a Sky Attack, so it was better to safely shield that move, just in case it was a foul play. But GG's. Another amazing lead here, winning a lot of leads, but once again we cannot switch out. It's like what I said, Bastiodon generally wins a lot of leads. It only loses to, you know, Azu, but even against Azu it does okay if it doesn't have Hydro Pump. It loses pretty badly to Stunfisk and Fighters and other ground types, but other ground types we don't really see very often, like Wishcash. We don't really see too much, and Swampert is quite rare, even though it's amazing. So once again, we're going to take the 1 shield here to win switch, because we don't really need to win switch. We just need to get rid of the Sableye, which is the biggest problem for our team, because we can take care of this with our Medicham. Decide to let the first one go, just in case it's a Weather Ball bait. And as soon as he switches to Azu, I kind of assumed it was Azu, because that's quite I think it was one of Totetical's lines, Abomasnow, Sableye, and Azu. But now that we've matched it into this, we can pretty safely take this Azumarill out with our super effective Grass Knots. And I think I decide to match... No, I think I don't shield anything here, because I still survive. And for some reason, he's going to switch Abomasnow out, and I'm not going to switch out for some reason. I think I decide just to, like, hey, I almost have the player. I think I realized he's gonna try to farm me down, but I calculated that I would get to the move before he could farm me down, so I just stayed in and threw the Moonblast. But a bit risky. I think I could have just switched out, and it would have been a much safer game. Now, this was pretty spicy. I have not seen a Quillfish in Great League GBL since Halloween Cup, and this is like pretty high up. We're in the 2980s now here, 2980s. I decide I can't switch out. Like I said, if I switch out to Cress, then I lose my only counter, right? Because this beats Medi as well. I really wanted to shield the Sludge Wave because I thought it would do that, but I guess maybe add Ice Beam. But he baited me out pretty good, so I could have had a shield advantage there, just tanking those Aqua Tails. But now I'm forced to switch in my Medicham here against the Umbreon. Ah, bless me. And yeah, we're just gonna. It's this. This is a bit. If he gets a few snarls in, I think he can win this, and he did get a few. So like he gets there by 1 turn. But then he snipes me with the Quillfish here with the water gun. But then I decide to farm him up, and now I have lots of energy. And at this point, I could have had 2 shields here, as we saw before. A very spicy line with the shiny Quillfish and the Frostlass. I decided to Grass Knot first to get a shield, and after he didn't shield the second time, after he didn't shield the first one, I decided for another Grass Knot to definitely get the shield. And I realized, you know what, let's just go for this Moonblast. It's probably gonna kill, and it didn't. I got a bit of farm here, but I can't Psycho Cut Down, sorry, and he gets to the foul play just as I get to the Grass Knot. So very close game. GG's. Snorlax lead. I'm assuming this had superpower. I mean, I know it had superpower because I watched this, but at the time, I'm like, you know what? If it's superpowers, it has to switch out, and if it switches out, then I can, you know, align my Cresselia on his Azumarill, which works really well, which loses to the Snorlax. So I don't really need health on my Bastiodon because I can probably kill the Snorlax with my Medicham later on. So that's why I kind of let it go. I rather have shields on my win condition, which is the Medicham, rather than HP on my Bastiodon. So after he threw there, I farm up a bit extra, knowing he was a bit energy dry, allowing me to have energy for the next Pokemon here. And I can't get to the Moonblast, so I just throw the Grass Knot here. And yeah, it was a good decision because I would have died as I died to the lick there. I think I realized, you know what, he's probably gonna throw Body Slam because he doesn't want to debuff himself, so I just let it go and throw the Stone Edge here, and then switch out immediately, and it's actually a mirror. Now I realized he threw at 5, and it was obviously Power Punch, so I just let it go. What I do is I go up to Psychic and then bait, and he actually shields. And at this point, I think he goes to Psychic, but I'm like, he has to bait to win, so I don't shield this one as well. And at this point, now that he shielded a Power Punch, I can just throw 2 Psychics, and the like equivalent counter damage with a boosted Psychic from the first Power Punch should KO. And at this point, I'm like, you know what? Let me just use all my shields, and yeah, we win. Even though I have like 2.5 levels less than him. If you don't bait correctly, you'll definitely lose the mirror. So that's why Pup is also good, because you can get those bait games in. Now Lickitung, I wasn't too sure how to play out this matchup, but I decided to stay in because it looked like I was outbulking it. I decided to tank this energy ball without shielding. I have so much more HP than it. And I think he switches out here to his Medicham, which is perfect, so I can get my Cresselia and get lots of value out of her, as she loses to the Lickitung pretty badly. And he throws Psychic immediately, which is a bit interesting. I guess it's his best move, so he had Power Up Punch and Psychic. I throw the Moonblast and he shields, and he actually shields again. And I'm thinking, why is he shielding so aggressively here? Does he really want to kill this thing? And yeah, so I'm assuming he has maybe like an Azumarill in the back, and then he switches out, tries to snipe with the Body Slam. So I then switch out to my Medicham to counter down the Lickitung, and then there's the Azu that we predicted. So I'm just gonna throw all my Psychics as much as I can. I decide not to shield again. I feel I should keep my shields for my Cresselia, because the fast attack damage isn't gonna do much to her. And I did have some energy on the Bastiodon, so I decided to let's try to snipe it with a Stone Edge, but he catches it, and then in turn I catch the Power Up Punch. I knew he was gonna throw Power Up Punch because there's no reason why he would throw Psychic. So I catch that. I kill this with the Moonblast finally, and decide to finally use my shields here, go for the Grass Knot, and take it out. I think I remember, you know what, I probably could have, you know, 2 shield BM'd and smacked him down, but I wasn't gonna take any risks. Mr. Shanks. Man, I keep battling him. I really like how his name matches his shirt. Alright. Paid actor? Ooh. Best buddy. I think I lose this. Chat. Alright, you guys can go make some tea, make some coffee. In 5 minutes, this mirror matchup should be done. 1. Alright, he got one in. That's really bad. Now I lose. But he might be an idiot and throw Stone Edge. Can I get one in? Okay, we're back. We get it back. My Basti has a lot of attack. This is a rank 24 prior to XLs coming out. It's rank 24, even though the IVs look garbage. He is outbulking me, as you can see, by like 1 smackdown. But I should win CMP. This could be the Jelly team. Okay, Victory Bell. This is really bad. Yeah, I think I just lose this, chat. If this is Grass Hole, I just lose. I just lose. At least he's bringing it now. At least he's bringing it now. Oh, that was a mistake. That was a mistake. Now I can just Psychic the last Pokemon. That was a mistake. Oh, never mind. No, it wasn't. Alright. By the look of the Razor Leaf, I should get to another Psychic. Before getting Razor Leaf down. The only problem, does he catch? Does he catch here? I'm gonna do one more. Okay. I think I win. Okay. I did one more just in case he threw. Try to switch. Oh man, him double shielding, he fucked up. He's got... I think he might be at 100 energy though. I think I lose regardless. He needs like 3 more. GG's. Oh my god, that was so funny. I forgot the Vic. I thought it died. It switched out. That was a draw. We both died at the same time, right? That means I went 3-1. 3-1 is better than 3-2, which means that should be enough for Legend. All right. Let's go. 30 points. 30 points for a 3-1. Easy clap. So I hope you enjoyed those games. I did win quite a lot of those leads in the last 2 sets leading up to hitting Legend. But even having won those leads, especially against that like ABA, the Altaria Skarmory, Toxicroak line, you still have to play it out right, otherwise you get trapped. So you still need to predict what they could have in the back and try to play around that. So winning the lead isn't everything, and I did win some games where I lost the lead as well. So the team is very, very consistent. If you don't feel bad about running Bastiodon, don't bother about what other people think about you. If they call you a tryhard, it doesn't matter. This is you just gotta use everything you have to your disposal to hit the highest rank you can. So don't worry about what other people think. I'll give you a pass. I won't judge you. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed those games. Maybe this will help you hit Legend when Great League comes back. I'll be making another Ultra League team pretty soon. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it, and see you in the next one. Azare out.